And we're live on YouTube now. Let's continue the chat for a second before we count down. And if anyone can check if we're live, we'll be ready to go soon. And actually make sure you all... I hear sirens or on our side.
Yeah. I'm so sorry, that's actually the siren's going past my house.
Yeah, that's no worries. We're just gonna say it's on our side. We are live, so that's alright. Alright, then I'm gonna bring up the notes and I'm gonna press the record button and it's gonna start soonish. So you guys won't hear the audio intro, but I'll make sure it dampens and I'll continue the conversation. Everyone ready?
Yep.
Alright, let's start in 3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, and welcome to What the FUT Live episode 9. Live every Wednesday on YouTube and uploaded the following day on all podcast services around the globe. This week we'll have to chat about our past week of FIFA. We'll take a deep dive into the new patch, which we already played on PCs and was just released on consoles. We get to hear which icon was added to Steve's already top tier squad, and we get to know how Adam's first live coaching session went. We also look at the content in the form of footies, the re-released SBCs, and we got Twitch packs. Last but not least, we'll take a dip into the pro scene by looking into the Xbox playoffs from last week and the upcoming PlayStation playoff. Today we actually have the full trio gathered again, so let me start saying hi to Adam, our technical mastermind.
Hi everyone, I'm back.
And it's very good to have you back. And let's not forget the master of round, top 100 PC player and tinfoil hat expert, Steve.
I have you know that my hat is not made of tinfoil, but it's actually aluminum. There you go.
Next time we'll add a webcam so we can actually see it.
And for our American listeners, that's aluminium. However you say it.
And I'm not gonna try that. And my name is John, also known as Foot Coaching, and it's time to get this show started. And let's start at going into our past couple of days of FIFA. Adam, mind me asking, how was your couple of days of FIFA?
A very mixed bag actually, because if we go back to the weekend league, I sort of on a whim decided to play this weekend. I think I ducked out of a couple of weekends, and then I thought, and then I'd done maybe the one before, so I jumped in. Started out quite well. I think I was 6-1, then went to about 10-3, then 12-4. And it was all going quite well, and then I kind of fell to pieces after I got to 17. Like, really fell to pieces.
Well, 17 is positive, right? I mean,
17 is all you need.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought you got to 20.
No, I had quite a few games left, and then I had a meltdown.
Yeah, it's different. Getting that last push sometimes is hard, and I always find as well. This is really going to sound really strange, but like the few times I've finished Gold 1, I found the games way harder than when it's Elite. Like I feel like I'm playing harder opponents all the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, people have said about EA's matchmaking. We can talk about that another time.
I think we're gonna make a what the foot spot highlight or next week or something about matchmaking.
Oh, it's just me and my tinfoil hat again. Spreading around vicious rumours about EA's matchmaking service.
I do know what we need our new logo to be, though. No.
Yeah, indeed.
Steve, how was your weekend league?
I didn't do it.
You didn't do it, so our top 100 player didn't do it.
I didn't do it. So the reason I didn't do it was because on Thursday night I came back home very late from the pub, like way later than I should have, about 2 in the morning, and I promised my girlfriend that I wouldn't play weekend league this week as an apology because I was so like hammered, and I didn't realise what I was saying, and then I was like, whoops. And then I was like, can I play weekend league now? She's like, no, you promised you wouldn't. I was like, oh shit. Fuck. But I'm playing it for 3 weeks in a row, so that's good. So we can see. But I did. Instead of playing weekend league, I used the time to relax from my drinking habits, to reflect on my drinking habits. Sorry, and to do some objectives, which then led me to thinking, I'm bored with my squad. What can I do to improve it? So then I did something ridiculously stupid, and I got R9. So there you go.
And
I haven't used him yet.
who made you realize you had to actually get him?
Well, you kept telling me to get him, so I want to see how good he is. If he's crap, I'm gonna send abuse to you next week on here. Oh my lord! I hope that he's good. I used his loan and I hated it. I don't even know what chemistry I'm gonna have on it, to be honest. I'm torn between basic and hawk.
I'm too afraid to actually answer now because I'll get all the.
You want to say marksman or something dodgy like that, don't you?
No, of course not. I was going to say engine, but hey.
Engine, because of
Engine makes a lot of sense, even though I'm blimmin' pissed off about it. What did you trade in?
Oh yeah, I traded in Bertie.
My favourite player ever on FIFA, apart from every single charisma that's ever existed. My favourite player on FIFA ever. The guy is basically you know the complaints that you get all year about how like Messi is never as good as the actual Messi in real life, and oh my god, he's so far away from Ronaldo in the game, blah blah blah. What they need to do is copy Butchigenio, make that Messi. I don't care about the animation that Messi's running. Clearly, that Butchigenio is what Messi should have been. It's the best card in the game for me personally.
For all non-UK listeners, Bertie is Adam's nickname for Butranego. So
yeah, sorry. Because he's so tiny and cute.
It's affectionate, yeah. I'm still leaning towards 92 jump over 96 agility. He's already got 91 agility. You don't need more than that. He needs to have 99 finishing as well. His R9. He must have 99 finishing.
Yeah. Although I tell you what, Steve, I've seen them on all different types of Ken. First time shot from basically anywhere that's inside your half. And it's the opponent's half, and it's game over. It's first time shot like they're rockets.
Well, basic. This is why I was toying with basic, because basic does 90 strength, 87 jump, 96 agility, and the only thing he doesn't do is 99 finishing.
He'll be great for you, even if you try Shadow on him. Seriously.
Yeah, true.
I'm not gonna put Shadow on him.
No, but you'll be enjoying him. Like, so now you got like the best players the best players available on FIFA. You got top 100 with your previous team. So what can we expect this upcoming weekends from you?
Gold 1. I haven't paid for 3 weeks, remember.
Excuses already.
Yeah, 3 weeks. I haven't been coached for a while either, so there's that.
We'll get back to that one later.
In a recent friendly, R9 not included, but I was doing quite well against Steve until he brought on the subs of death. The subs of death, by the way. Everybody's got 99 pace. My defenders are standing there like lemons, and what was the 2-1 lead for me turned into a 5-2 win for Steve, I think.
I think it was that bad, but yeah, that was the first game with Royce. He was good. Right, so how was your weekend league anyway, John? What was you doing this week?
Yeah, I was trying to set up some. I'm gonna just do some shameless plugs now. But I've been going on live with some new shows. So one live coaching show on Mondays and a review show of all the new release cards on Fridays. And I was actually setting that all up this weekend. And so Sunday was my free day. I was going in all in a weekend league. And I woke up at 3:30 in the night with my little daughter being ill. So actually I played 4 games weekend league. But she's all better now. Yeah, I did actually think I think in the end I made something like 6-1 and then I had to end there something. So yeah. But there's always next week. But all shows went live. And I had a really good experience this Monday coaching Adam live on there. We did actually miss Adam while on the show. So we talked about his gameplay with him not being there.
I blame my wife.
Yeah,
I
she's probably not listening to this show then.
No, she's not. I have rewatched it a couple of times now.
Top 100
Can
next
I
week.
just ask, who was that Circle Rain guy? He sounded like a
That was
sound
you.
bloke. I don't know what you're talking about.
It was definitely you.
That Circle Rain guy sounded like a lad.
I think with the Monday show, what I found like really interesting, even when I was, because obviously I've missed mine, I tuned in just as mine was ending, but after rewatching that and also looking at the Graham guy,
Team Goat.
Team Goat, that's it. After watching his like gameplay and like watching how you broke it down and stuff, it was really interesting. I think there's things that once you know them, I'm sure they seem so basic, but for a lot of players out there, they don't really remember to do it, and people get stuck in ruts as well. And you see it in like, it's funny, but you know, it's very rare that I'd watch my own gameplay back or something, apart from if I scored a worldie. But I was watching this guy, and then I was watching my own thing, and I was just watching the same sort of ruts where, you know, it's 40 minutes in, I've conceded one, so suddenly I've got players dragging around the pitch, and I'm running into tackles and stuff, and it was just really interesting. Like, just the breakdowns you gave were really, really interesting, and also like I tried some stuff out last night, and it was helping me break away some of them ruts. Even like I was 2-0 down at one stage, and then I come back and won the game. It was very interesting.
I really hope it was fun to do, but I really hope two things is that you could actually improve on it by watching that, and I also broke down how people can just analyze their own matches by taking 3 steps. So if you watch back the video or tune into next shows, you can actually do it for yourself. I really don't mind doing it for people, but it's a thing. If you know how to do it and where to pay attention to, you can easily do it yourself by just recording the game and look back. So yeah, I hope you'll see some improvement going. Yeah, I really like doing it, and I'm really curious what you will be forming this weekend though.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? But I will say that it does, like, with any sort of these things, they do take a little while to get used to, because you can't just change the way you play.
No.
It's like, it's because you're looking for certain things, and so it does. You do have to take time to embed it.
I know. I noticed that last night. I played 6 games, I think, in the Rivals, and my first one, I had a lot of possession, but I was sort of all over the place because I was like failing to put all the trigger, because I was looking to, instead of like trying to play the game and like win it as such, I was looking to try and enact some things and see exactly how players moved and stuff, and I wanted to see like what the changes were and what they were doing to my team and stuff. But and also I come against a squad that's probably better than yours, Steve. In fact, it is. It's got R9, R7, 99, like it. Prime Moments Gullit, like the craziest team I've ever seen on FIFA. But after that, it was very, very interesting to like watch it and stuff. There were certain players that just couldn't deal with some of the things that were mentioned in that episode, and it was just very. But at the same time, mixing it with some of the things that I do well, it was, you know, it takes time. So Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah.
No, it's you gotta just take your time and just take in the feedback and work on it. And sometimes you'll see results like the first day after a coaching session, and sometimes will take several days or several practices to get it going. But to each his own, and I really hope we'll see some good things coming out. But you sound positive, so I'm happy to be doing it.
I had a massive improvement with one thing. I will say this: the massive improvement was that I'm used to taking a lot of pot shots, and I rely on having 1, good shooters, and 2, even though I don't do the time finishing, I think I'm generally better than about 80 to 90% of shooters out there, because most people have to rely on headers and stuff, or, you know, other types of things. But the thing that I really noticed was yesterday, one of the games, I had 6 shots in the first half and 4 goals from it, because of the fact my quality of chances were just far improved already, and that's only after just like watching through the stuff. And instead, normally I'd have 12 shots in the first half and 2 goals. It was a massive improvement.
That's awesome to hear. Well,
So,
talking
John, when are you gonna teach me how to do Elastico?
Well, if you want to be taught how to do Elasticos, I'd highly recommend just tuning into the playoff games in the weekend. I don't know if you guys, let's go into that subject, make a nice bridge for myself here, but have you guys seen the Xbox playoffs last weekend? And are you going to watch the PlayStation playoffs upcoming weekend?
I did, and I may well tune into it. I watched only a couple of games, but
I mean, you can't watch all of the games. That'd be ridiculous. It's fucking 3 days of thing. I watched the final. I watched a few of the games. I've tried to get more into it this year. The old esports thing. Some of it is just boring. Like there's only so much of it you can watch, and one of the problems I have with it, and I do have this issue with their format, was that it would be a game and then you'd wait an hour for another game and they haven't got they've got nothing to talk about.
no.
Like they've not really got anything to talk about because two people playing FIFA. It's not like, you know, a football game where people have gone all the way to the final and they've got clips and they've got highlights that they can put on. Like they need to really work on their bordering, for want of a better word, but their stuff around the actual game is too long.
Yes, something I noticed as well. And what I personally would really love to see is to get more personality and more stories involved with the players. So if you have like 30 minutes between two matches, it's okay to analyze 10 minutes of the previous match, but use the last 20 minutes to build up towards the next match by making like short clips. So who are these players? Where are they coming from? What are their results? What are the personalities like?
The thing is, they're all friends. Like a lot of, especially the English blokes. Like, I mean, if they're all friends with Kurt as well. They're all mates. They're genuinely, they're all mates. And so, like, you can build up a bit of rivalry, a bit of banter. You can have a fucking video of them all playing table football together or something. And you could just do loads of little shitty promos, and people would love it.
You're right, because like some people will love this analogy, some people are not going to like it at all. But essentially, you've got Kurt, who's Kanye West in this sort of scene, right? He's sometimes off the ball, but you can't deny that he's a very talented person. You've got F2 Techers, who looks like a young Justin Bieber and is a young Justin Bieber. He's super Marmite. You either love how he plays or despise it. There's no two ways about it. There's nobody that's like, oh, I don't really care either way. Like but there is two, right? MS Dossery, like the calm, cool, collective sort of like GSP of it all. He has one really good quote every year, but is an awesome player.
GSP's not a rapper.
No, he's not a rapper, or a musician.
Or a singer.
A singer. But like, you know what I mean? As in like, you know, there are enough personalities in that thing where they should be taking advantage of it. People genuinely tune in to watch Kurt. Love him or hate him, he does bring eyes. You know, he puts buckets in seats, as the old wrestling thing.
Arses in seats.
Arses in seats, exactly. You know, the same with F2 Techers. I mean, there are a lot of people that absolutely love how he plays. For me, it's not. I don't like it, but I do want to watch him. But he's sort of the Floyd Mayweather, actually, because I watch hoping that he loses, if it makes sense, like that.
But that's good though. You need someone like that, a champion that everyone hates, a bit cocky. You know, everyone loves to watch someone lose. Everyone loves to hate someone. That is true. But anyway, so one of the things that I watched in the weekend that I saw, we're going to talk about the cards they used in a minute, I think. But one of the things that I noticed was how different some of their playstyles were. And Kurt is just such like a silky passer. Like, that is probably who I played closest to, I reckon. I mean, I'm not as good, don't get me wrong.
I very much agree, but it's I saw people tweeting out that he doesn't do elasticos or stuff like that, and that's just not true. If you look at his set, that's not true. He does it far less, and he's far less concerned about the crossing meta, if you will. But he does actually use those tricks himself. So don't be black and white for that, I think. That's
Oh, no. I wouldn't say that he never done it, but he doesn't do it a lot. But he doesn't do it. You know, like when you get someone, you know they're gonna do an elastico, like not elastico, a croqueta, and you know what they're trying to do. They're trying to get in the side, get a croqueta, get a penalty, or if not, get the through on goal chance, basically.
True.
What I
Yeah.
liked about his game against F2 Techers and what I really enjoyed was the one time that he did the El Crocodiles. He did one, then sort of it was like 2 steps, then did another. He didn't like chain like that. Whereas a lot of the other players, and I'm really not naming names because I didn't watch enough games, but a lot of players and a lot of players that you see when you're playing online as well, chain these moves together 100 times, which hopefully FIFA are going to fix. But
They're apparently they've like massively trashed it.
his goal with Ronaldo was very interesting to watch him do an El Croqueta, wait like about a second and a half, then do the second one when Tekers was like sort of expecting the second chained one like what he would do, and then he put it in the top corner, and it was a really really good goal. But it was just, I liked like him using that move in that
What
instance.
do you know? What one we haven't mentioned? The guy who won the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, fair enough.
Stokes, and he was good. He played really well. He smashed Tickers. To be honest, he was the better player. That's the only game I saw of him. Was the final though.
Here I am planning on getting Tex on the show one day, and you guys just keep messing up his name.
Oh, whatever. It's because of Adam. His name is Techers now. Whatever. F2 Tex. Whatever. He was alright. He was okay. I mean, he's a very good player. You can see, like, he's very good. But like, I mean, I want to see if he wins the biggie. I wonder if he didn't care about this one as much.
Okay, Adam, you saw a couple of matches. What
Yeah.
is the one thing you want to highlight out of it? What did you notice? What?
What I want to highlight is that even though, like, you know, I've seen good players on PC, I've watched console games, I've watched thingies, but I think the stark thing is the speed of the game. You know, it's really weird how it's very, very, very quick. There isn't like wasted movements. It's very like refined, and I found that very, very interesting. I think the level that a lot of these players have got to, and obviously they've all got different play styles, which is interesting, but they all are very, very quick. Nobody dilly-dallies as such. That, and the other thing that I did notice as well was that certain players like to match. Actually, no, you said one. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, quickly name the second one.
That ultra defensive is a bit too spammed by certain players, and I didn't like that.
Oh my god, drop back. They do love. Some of them do love a drop back.
Yeah.
Way, some of them do. Yeah. So the thing I noticed, I'm assuming you're going to ask me. I'm just going to say.
I was in doubt still, but go ahead.
Was that they used the same 20 players? There was barely any variety at all.
Yeah, and that's one thing that keeps not really bothering me, but it sort of is annoying that you have to qualify these days, setting up a certain team which has restrictions, and then in the tournament yourself you can just do anything. And then you end up getting just playing the best 20-25 cards at the max. I didn't keep count during the whole weekend, but I don't think we've seen more than 26 cards in total.
I reckon I could go and name them all. Do you know where the big changes are? Keeper.
Right back.
There was right back. Yeah, maybe, but there were 6 defenders because everyone had Varane, Ramos, Van Dijk, and then it would either be Maldini or Da Costa, and maybe one used Tellez.
No, I saw Ferdinand used as well a couple of times, and I definitely saw the Dumfries right back.
Yeah.
So it was either Da Costa or Dumfries right back. Van der Sar 89 was the most weird. Not weird, but the most used goalkeeper I think this tournament.
Yeah, because he's meant to be the best, isn't he?
Well, it's still weird. The 89 is, but
well, because the 89 is quicker, and when you put basic on it, it gets 99 and everything. I think. Or 99 everything it needs to have. That's why. So they made the middle one better than the prime because of they assume that age equals speed, and they've made the middle one slower than the middle one faster than the prime, which makes it not a prime.
I won't ask you to name all 25 players though, but what was the most weirdest pick you saw?
The strangest.
The strangest, yeah.
Do you know what? There wasn't anyone odd. No one stuck Mark Noble in midfield for a laugh one. Do you know what I don't understand? And I'm gonna probably get shit posted for this. Why does everyone use Vieira in centre midfield?
Well, because his range on his tackles, standing tackles, is just huge. Not only his stats are good, but his range is humongous. So if you play compact and you can actually predict what your opponent's going to do, he's one of the best players with his furthest range.
I'm not convinced he's that great though. I've played with him and he was good. I played with the Moments Vieira in a draft and he was really good. Don't get me wrong, it was a fucking cracking player. But I'm not convinced he was the best defensive midfielder. I don't think he's better than Timothy Akante.
Right, can I actually argue the point for Vieira? The reason why I think these players are doing it. I see it a lot in Weekend League. I'm sure that we all do. The Vieira-Hullet combination. The reason why both of them players are played together is because of the fact that they go from being, what are they, like 6'2", 6'3", maybe 6'4" at best. They go from that to being Giannis Antetokounmpo and having 19-foot limbs when you go past them.
Yeah.
There are passes I've got off where their legs extend 800 feet.
And that's basically the reason why Akante is still a very good player for most of us. But it just won't make the cut if you put it next to Vieira at high level. The most interesting player I saw actually was Havertz.
That's the most interesting. I mean, yeah, I suppose. But the thing is, I know loads of people that have got him.
I saw him used in every team.
Every team?
I think he was into every single team.
I think he was on the bench a lot. I didn't see him played in the main.
I think that was the player I saw do the most insane things with. There's not something available for me as a score sheet during him, but I really want to see how many that guy scored also off the bench. It really surprised me coming up with him.
It would be interesting if they did release like this is how many goals players scored. Like R9, I saw R9 banging loads as well. That also helped me do R9 because there's so many people just ping one in with R9.
You think the player base will change? So this weekend we got the upcoming PlayStation playoffs. We see any difference?
No. Do you know what's also very interesting? Actually, I'm gonna think they all used team of the season Ronaldo and not.
Steve?
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, he dropped off for a moment. Good.
Yeah,
They all used team of the season Ronaldo, you said?
Yeah, they all used team of the season Ronaldo instead of team of the year, but I thought the team of the year had better stats.
To be fair, it's so far of my range that card that I didn't look at the differences.
Okay.
But it's a good one for checking out for next week. Good question.
Yeah, okay. We'll look it up. We'll come back to that one.
I have a theory, and this is my interest in player because of the fact that Steve pointed this out to me actually, but that Kurt was using normal gold De Gea. And the reason why I found that very interesting was because I have a feeling a lot of these players, and the reason why they might use the team of the season, not team of the year, they seem a little bit superstitious, these players, sometimes, with certain players.
Loads of them were using red team of the season Ronaldo.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, we want red. We just like, cool, it's just better. It's your player then. And I was like,
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's a superstitious bunch. That's what I think, and I think that's where some of that comes from, Steve. Like, I mean, personally, I wouldn't care what kind of Ronaldo, what colour Ronaldo was, really, as long as he was, any colour, and I'd be happy. But, these people are a bit superstitious from what I can see, and I can understand it as well because, I have that with my team, so I get it.
So who's everyone thinking is going to win the PlayStation playoff?
Adam, go ahead. Have
I
you
have
looked into?
absolutely no idea. I don't keep up on
Oh.
PlayStation players. Um, I'm not a Microsoft fanboy. Well, a bit, but to be honest, I haven't kept up with them. The narratives in the Xbox side are far more interesting.
No, fair enough. No, that's fair enough. It's fair enough. Steve?
So Miklas is obviously the favourite, because he's been best for a couple of years now on PlayStation, hasn't he? He's a very good player. But my pick is someone who's on the bubble for the top 16 for the World Cup, and that's FUT Tom. I really hope he does well. I watch his streams a couple of times, so I'm a bit biased.
Yeah,
But
you're also a bit British. Maybe that's.
yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate he's a Spurs fan because otherwise he'd be perfect. Um, so yeah, I hope he does well. He's a nice bloke. Like, I hope he does well. So I'm
Yes.
gonna pick him.
So is Foot Wisdom your outsider
Yeah,
pick, or is he just your main pick?
He's my pick. I'm going for him to win the whole fucking thing. Why not?
All
Let's
right.
go for it with Tom.
All right. Let's do. I'm gonna do. I had one major pick and I got one outside pick as well, but I'm just gonna name my outside pick as who's gonna win it all,
Go on.
and that's gonna be Dulstra.
Oh, you've been watching fucking LaBelle, ain't ya?
Now I've been watching the MLS tournaments this year, and I think he has a great composure during tournaments. Did not perform too well outside of the MLS. He did fine, but not extremely fine. I think he's rated somewhere at 18th now, uh, and I think he might make a push this week. So my outside pick, but in this case, my favorite pick will be Dulstra.
Okay, and so who's your main pick?
The one you just mentioned yourself before that.
Oh, Nicholas.
Yeah, if I want to be fair, he's gonna win it, but I'm gonna say Dulstra just for the fun of it. The next week I can say I told you so.
That'd be interesting. Right.
We got sorry, go ahead.
I have a slight problem with the format of this, and I'm only going to be very quick on this. But the fact that we have a PlayStation playoffs and an Xbox playoffs, to me, is insanity. I'm sorry, I can go down to Game, or like I could get off of eBay a controller that is the same shape and size as a PlayStation controller for the Xbox, and vice versa. It's not that hard for EA to just make some branded bloody controllers for pro players.
Although I agree with you, and I get your reasoning, there's one obvious reason why they do this, and that's because half the tournaments are actually sponsored and brought to you by PlayStation. So they're not gonna want you using a general or an Xbox controller on a PC, but they want you to use a PlayStation controller. So if you look at the PlayStation stream this weekend, probably, I don't know for sure, but most of the streams have a PlayStation on the table with a controller next to it that's sponsored by PlayStation. So that's basically why you don't want to.
Yeah. So there's also
I
another
get it.
reason is that they're two different groups. Like, you don't, because it's not cross play. Top 100 isn't top 100 of everyone. It's top 100 of your console. So all your tournaments to the qualifying stage are on that console. So everything is going up. It would be just weird to change it. That at the top.
Well, then let's get bloody crossplay involved, because I'm sorry, it's absolutely ridiculous. They are made with the same chips inside. They are literally the same system, apart from that the Xbox One is less powerful than the PS4, and then it swaps round for the Pro and the Scorpion versions. The whole thing's made by AMD. There is absolutely zero. There's no reason why they can't do crossplay.
Except for the fact that PlayStation don't want to play ball if they don't have to, and they don't have to with EA at this moment.
Yeah.
Well, let's pick that discussion up the next time.
So,
Definitely.
This is something I also want to discuss, because in 2017 Xbox were the icon onlys, weren't they? Was it 17? I believe it was 17.
Yes.
Yeah, well, Xbox were icon onlys, and they had some agreement with EA where they'd get the game first and all this sort of stuff. And now they've released Mixer, and EA's got into bed with Twitch, which I found very interesting. And again, a sort of shift away from Microsoft. I say got into bed with. I mean, I don't give a shit. They gave us 3 packs.
Yeah, so there's two things. There's a Twitch packs. We're just gonna discuss them in a minute. And there's also the new patch that has been released this week talking about connection servers, etc. And since Twitch is owned by Amazon, those two things might be related, I thought. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a tin hat. Get your tin hat on, my friend, because that is a conspiracy theory for the ages. That could be. They could have just. But would it just take a day to shift it all over? Surely that'd have to be next year, no?
What a... that can be a lot quicker. But you know what? We're going to let this one bottle. We're going to pick that one up next week. What do you all, listeners, what do you think about EA moving to Amazon, Twitch, and does it have any connection with the server things they're going to do? We're still going to talk about Twitch packs, namely, what did y'all get into? Steve, what did your Twitch pack, your free Twitch pack give?
I got some free Nacho Fernandez, which was amazing. I was so happy to get him. I'm not gonna lie. I was like 87, bang, and I got Perrin as well, the 84 keeper. I was ecstatic. What about you?
Well, I don't have Amazon Prime, so I'm going to skip this stuff. Adam!
I got useless stuff. Well, not useless, but 377s and a Tiago 87.
Sorry, did you say 77?
77, 377s and 187.
That's alright.
No, the reason why I think is because of the fact that the amount of packs that I saw online that contained Leroy Sané 91 birthday one, and then with like 3 other incredible players, and then you just see my pack and it's just like I've got potatoes. It's just, you know.
Don't
look
at other people. Just focus on your. You could have got a whole host of 86s, man. Like you did all right. 87 is good. I was happy with mine. Mine went into.
Mine went into the tradable team of the week pack.
Right.
Mine went into. Oh wait.
Oh.
Right.
I'm talking about like the content. You got new Twitch packs. We also are in the middle of the Footies promotion, which consists out of the Footies voting, the Footies you can get out of Foot Swap, and there were some SBCs re-releases, I should say. I want to start with the re-releases of the SBCs. I think we got David Luiz's one of the first one, which I think was pretty cool. Do you guys agree?
Everyone loved that. That was one of the ones that everyone went.
I went and done it straight away. I was so happy with it. The promotion started so fantastically for me. I pulled like the birthday song in the voting pack. I got the David Luiz, and it started so well. I was so impressed with them.
Then we got the one to watch SBC.
Oh my god! So this.
I think you guys did some of those.
I must have done about 20 of them, and the best card I got was Cesc. And I was at a stage. I was on 900k, like deciding I either go for R9 A98 or I go for Icon R7, and then I just was like, you know what, I can get.
You've done that the wrong way round, by the way.
Oh fuck. Yeah, but I went for R9 because I was like, I can't not take the guaranteed pack. The way these pack, I can't deal with pulling Golovin, Inui, and who was the other idiot that I kept getting? Dembele. Like there was a few that you just kept getting, and you just like, give me someone different, you idiots.
Did you guys actually see Ronaldo being packed by someone?
No, I did not.
There was one person I still got it.
I bet they.
And that's so small for Twitter. That is so small. Because Twitter's normally, woo, look at me, the walls, wow, wow. And there was like one person, Ronaldo.
I'm so glad I just recorded that sentence. That's gonna be our new intros.
Yeah. So did you do it as well?
Yeah, I did. The 27, and I got 2 pretty good cards out of it. Socrates and Nainggolan, and I both used them in SBC. But that's fine. I mean, Of course, I wanted Ronaldo, but for now that's fine. And then the next player we got actually was Robin Antovenera coming back, which is cool, I think, right?
Fantastic.
I mean, I wish it was an English player.
Why?
I'm not gonna give a fuck about Robin. 2-star weak foot, meh. Yawn.
I gotta agree with that though.
I was very happy to see that card come back. I think because of the fact that one, a half decent link to the Costa that everybody loves, and two, there were a lot of people that wanted to do that, and it was out of their price range. And now with a lot of cards being out and stuff like that, it allowed a card that look, a lot of people bloody love Robin, and I can understand why. I mean, just watch a YouTube's highlight video of him doing the same move repeatedly and putting it in the top corner in the exact same place, and it's like 50 goals scored that way in like a season. It's just he's a fantastic fun player. He's been great for football, and I'm really glad they redid it. It was fantastic, I think.
Yeah, he's Dutch, and in this current stage of the game, easy to link. You could get good fun with him, I think. And there was actually people asking for him, so that's good. They re-released him.
That is true. There were people asking for him. So
Yeah.
Fine.
I just want to make it. So our new podcast format is that we want to stay critical, but we want to stay positive, right? So shall we just skip the Champions League SBCs?
What leg was your favourite? Leg 1 or leg 2?
That one was pretty
That was awful.
awful, right?
I'd rather been legless.
Wait. Do you know what? They should have called it Vidal FBSP and just done first leg and left it. Then it would have been okay. Fucking hell. It was awful.
It was awful, but they, in my opinion, they made good on it today, right?
Well, yesterday with the, to be honest, yesterday with the Champions League set, that was nice. The, do you know where you got 4 SBCs? One had the 3 Champions League players, and then the other 3 needed 4 Champions League players.
Yeah,
At the end, that was really good.
and we're forgetting someone.
KSBC with it as well.
Bill, Team of the Year nominee, re-released, guys.
Oh, what, Bale? Oh, yeah.
So last week you talked about 20 minutes during the podcast talking about Bill. This week we get a Bill release and you forget to mention.
Oh, yeah, because it's not the best Bale, though. It's the second best Bale.
Oh yeah, and we actually forgot that you're the top 100 player and you don't go for second best anymore.
Yeah, well, I have second best Ronaldo, second best Hullet, second best Eusebio, maybe. But I don't know. He looks good off the bench. I did have a look. I did have a sneaky look. 385 rated. I was tempted. I still am tempted. I'm not getting rewards, so I don't know where I'm going to get the cards from to do it though. It's the problem.
Are you going to do them, Danham?
He's out of my price range at the moment, and also, I love Bale, but he never clicked for me this FIFA. Every FIFA I've always wanted the Gareth Bale. I got the birthday one for about a week, loved it, sold it for double the price, and regretted it instantly, and realised I couldn't buy him back. The birthday one from last year is better than the card they've just released for me. In fact, I think it was the most amazing Bale they've ever made. I'm not. Look, it's a lovely card. It's also a lovely card like 5 months ago. It's not the same as the Robin. It's not the same as the other ones. I'm not as interested in him.
The price range is good, right?
Yeah, it's decent. It's not. Do you know what they done it for a nice price. 385 is not too much. Like 300k. I tell you what, as well. And off the bench, he's better than. I bet it's better than Zlatan in the air.
Oh, definitely. Oh, maybe. I'd hope so.
His 6'2", 99 jump.
So
I reckon so.
I think it works though. But if we talk about the footies, we can say it was pretty much hit until they released the Champions League once, came back to it. Who are you guys waiting for to come back? Which re-release would you like to see, or which footies release players would you want to see? Adam, shoot. Which re-release?
There is right. The re-release I would like to see. The re-release I think that they should do is probably Zlatan. I don't want them to do it, but it's the one that they should do. There are a lot of people that have got Zlatan, but basically, like the David Luiz one, just give them the bloody thing so they can have him and everybody's happy. The footies I want to see, there is one player I would get rid of my Moments Figo for, and he is Ricardo Quaresma. I need that bloody card, and I need him now.
My face, I was so shocked when Adam said Charisma.
Right, and if, by the way,
wow.
I don't care if they're offering to give Ronaldo's away for pennies on a dollar. Do not vote for anyone other than Quaresma that week, please. Everyone, just vote Quaresma. Do you know how much fun it will be? It'll be like 91, 92 rated. It'll have all the pace, and it might be the last time we get a Quaresma card like that. If they put him in, vote for him, please.
He might get an end of an era if he's retiring.
He's not though. He's just been really, really quiet. He'll end up in like MLS or something.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
I gotta agree with Zlatan, because I like everyone to have that card who missed out.
He was great SBC fodder. I'll give. He went straight into an SBC. He was trash. I didn't like him.
I still have him on the bench, but let them re-release it and I'll put him into an SPC again. Steve, you're re-released first.
So I want to just talk about firstly that Lozano. So Lozano won, and everyone was, like Castro went and let off some fireworks in the back of his house and had a parade, whatever. Lozano, everyone's happy, and then everyone trashed Fred, right? And I looked at Fred, and he's basically Team of the Year Fernandinho.
But also for the same price and untradeable.
No, look at Adam. Go look at them both with Shadow. And tell
No,
me
he's
they're-
not got strength.
Oh, he's just got missing a little bit of strength. Kane doesn't have any strength. He's the same player.
He's not the same player as N'Golo. He's just not.
It's team of that Fred. I'm telling you, is underrated. I'm telling you right now that Fred is very underrated.
That is very controversial, Steve. I would like to see like someone do a review of it. I'm gonna have to watch someone do a review of it, but I'm sorry, there are better cards available for less.
So the card. So the card I would like to see them release is footy.
As who?
Because I have the card. This is hard, I haven't. Because I've got everyone I want. There's not anyone I'm trying to think.
No, someone fun though. You could go for someone fun, someone that you'd play with, like even in like squad battles to have a laugh
I
with.
tell you, but the thing is, like if I think like players that possibly deserve a card, but don't have any upgrades, I would probably say someone like.
It's going to be a West Ham player, I'm pretty sure. Here comes.
Why did you say that? Say Mikel Antonio. He's always got a good FIFA card. He's always like an unsung hero. I wouldn't mind if they did like an unsung hero card. That would be nice. That would be a good one to do. Aerial threat. Who are you not voting for?
I'm gonna go for Talisca.
I went for Paulson, I think. Yeah.
See, now
Because I just like the guy, and I
if I was
really like guys to have something in the Bundesliga squad as well.
that card is also mad. That Paulson. That Paulson is also very that card might be the best card ever in the air. Like that card might be a ridiculous card. That card might be a bit scary if it gets the footies.
Well, then they don't have to release
I know
Zlatan.
I know who I want to get footies. Courtois.
I knew that
is
was
who I want
coming.
to get footies. That's if Courtois comes up, everyone vote for Courtois because I need a Courtois. I need a godly Courtois.
Your one already is godly. I think that this is a discussion for another day, but I think Courtois was released godly. The 90 normal one was released godly.
Yeah, but we need one that's a 98 that's godly.
Then he had to perform this year for that to happen.
This thing, but footies are based on FIFA players, not based on
But
real life.
can't we just all agree we need Begovic and Bakayoko back? And on that topic, no, I think those players are fun. time-wise, we gotta move on to the next subject, else we will never make it, because we got something really cool coming up. Might be the biggest thing FIFA had seen, and it's all technical. It's namely a patch which deals with all the server issues. But for the technical challenged people like myself, I think Adam is able to provide us with some short and understandable info, what it actually does, what it actually means for us.
Right, low pressure then. So I was looking over it. The thing is, just as a quick thing, when they say here is a high level summary, high level basically means layman's terms, or like not dumbed down, but just we're doing this, this, and this without explaining anything technical. But the changes that they said changes made since our last update, and I found something very, very interesting in the two things that they said, which was making changes to the network infrastructure for PS4, Xbox One, PC, and then giving a brief summary of it. The additional network and data center configuration changes to improve efficiency and capacity. That kind of thing can honestly be so hard to detect and might have taken them months. I do want to give them. In fact, the other point I'm going to make is very similar to this, in that I know that they could throw money at it. Yes, buy more servers. Stop using potato servers. I get it, and I do get that. But you can have all of the machines in the world doing something, but if there's an issue in a bit of code for the database, or a bit of code for how the game is run between players, it can make a huge difference. And I don't know if what they've done is going to fix it, but I've got a feeling, just making some configuration changes and stuff, so it's hard because of the fact they don't give us enough information on exactly what they're running and how they're doing it. But my suggestion would be that they've probably changed some. I'm just gonna sound like I'm going in circles, but they could change some configurations in how certain things perform certain tasks, and they've gone on to say that in the high level thing. The thing that I can give a bit more insight into is that the multiple individual hardware changes due to specific hardware issues in various server locations around the world. So I work in IT, and I've seen this issue myself. So it probably isn't the same thing, but the company I work for used to purchase a particular type of drive, like an 8 terabyte one, that was a very enterprise version. They're supposed to last for 10 years, or you get your money back, and they were dying in 3 months. And we were repeatedly putting these things in, getting the money back, but repeatedly putting these things in, eventually changing to different ones. But the whole point being that it is sometimes very, very hard to detect little issues with hardware. You can have, a bad, because of the fact that also EA do not want to just continually take servers down because we all complain. They do have redundancy servers, but most of them are going to be the same thing. My suggestion is that what's happened is there might be a firmware update or something like that where they didn't realise it until now, and it was making like a slight issue that was being perpetuated across the world. I don't blame them for this. It is very hard to detect, and they have at least made a change, hopefully for FIFA 20.
And being transparent about it, I guess, which I think is really good.
I think that they've done it. I think they've done it now to test now, because this is the end of the game. It doesn't matter. This isn't Team of the Year. People aren't going to get too pissed off if it fucks everything up.
Yes, exactly that.
But if it doesn't go Pete wrong and goes all right, then they've fixed it for FIFA 20, and then that's good. And then that's one thing that they already don't have to worry about at all.
I will say as well that and I'm going to go over this a bit more in the next podcast, and I'm just going to give a brief highlight to it. But essentially, there was quite a few things that happened in the world of hardware this year, with Intel having performance issues on their servers due to having to release patches for hacks and stuff. That could have gravely impacted the way the servers performed, and it would have been. It's not like they could just swap out servers straight away. Especially if you've got a uniform set of servers, you can't just swap them out straight away for better versions. and it really did impact a lot of people around the world. So I have sympathy with them. They can't just enact this stuff. They've chosen the right time, and what Steve just said, they've chosen the exact right time, because now people don't care as much. And if if it doesn't work properly, at least they've got time to fix it.
Right, Adam, we've played on it. Did you notice a change?
Mine was worse.
Mine didn't change at all. But PC players didn't get the survey.
No.
So we never got the survey then again. So I assumed that our fucking servers were fine. Because for some reason they just didn't count us in the fucking survey. Which was always a strange one.
Can I offer two little quick tidbits about why PC players get it easier? One, we have a smaller player base, which means that it's less server hit. And two, and this is not a PC Master Race thing, but generally speaking, PC gamers care a little bit more about their setup generally of a network, and they will do things like make sure that they're plugged into the network, not doing it by Wi-Fi. Make sure that they've got like really good kit, they've got the right cables and stuff. Now, I'm not saying that console gamers don't do this as well, but it's going to be a high.
But the general public do not though.
No, but PC gamers generally, especially if you built your own PC, you're going to do that kind of thing. Not to try and plug myself too much, but I do have my upcoming network guide, and I'll be trying to help a lot of you get away from some of these things and hopefully improve your network performance, because EA can only do so much. I'm not kissing their ass, but if your network setup is crap, there's nothing that they can do. And yes, it might work better on Fortnite or something like that, but that doesn't require as quick, maybe. But my point being that,
but it doesn't use as much. That's it.
No.
That's it. That's just a fact of life. Like, if EA want to use this much bandwidth, that's it.
yeah.
Like, eat it.
If y'all have any questions concerning the network things, or have any questions how you can improve your own situation, feel free to shout out to the podcast or at Adam at Food Frankenstein on Twitter. Because we're always willing to help, and Adam really knows his stuff here. It's hard to give Adam 5 minutes to try to explain it all, but I think we all agree on the fact that they are open about it wasn't always good. They changed it, and they changed it at the right moment, so we're looking forward to seeing improvements being made further on.
And one interesting point is this is probably the first time that they've actually, I might be wrong about this, but it seems like the first time that they've actually admitted that they actually host their own servers, and that they aren't using a cloud-based server, which I thought they were. I was convinced they were using AWS, which is a conversation for another day. But them having their own server, that's next time.
We'll talk about that next week.
We're gonna next week, the upcoming week, we can actually test the game ourselves, see how the Wicked League holds, see what the general community thinks and everyone says on Twitter. And I'll say we're gonna make it a focus point next week in the show, so give you more time to elaborate on it and also share our experiences on it. Before we end the show, though, we want to give the weekly reward. And I think it's going to be called the Rocky Balboa Reward this week, because we're going to give the Rocky Balboa Reward to Rebel Stokes for actually winning the Xbox event last week.
Well deserved. It's an actual award this week. He actually deserves it. He's amazing. Well done him. And I'm guessing next week's award winner will be as predictable.
If my man wins it, he's deserving the reward as well. Or we're going to give the reward to EA if servers hold up this weekend. Before we end this show, Steve, where can people find you and your masterful rants?
They can find me at Valence777. I don't really rant on Twitter, but if you send me a question, I will almost definitely answer it.
He will send the DMs.
Just ask.
You'll send your rants in DMs.
Yeah.
Hey, and Adam, if people want your updates on the upcoming top 100 finish after being coached, where they will be able to find those?
They can find me at FUT Frankenstein on Twitter. The other thing as well is that if you want to ask a more like personalised question, about the podcast, please feel free to, not the podcast, sorry, the networking stuff. Feel free to DM me. We are looking at maybe having an email account that you can email into so that we can like properly look into it and stuff. But with the networking stuff, I'm more than happy to help. And you know, I have limited time because I work in IT and I do get eventually overloaded. But a lot of the issues that people come to me, I can pretty much give you a few fixes within like 20 minutes of talking.
Awesome, brilliant. Also, guys, if you have any questions, remarks, feedback, or commentary, just add us at WTF FUT Podcast on Twitter or respond on this. Also, you would really like to help us out if you would give us some reviews. Then we will be easier to find and we will be able to grow a bit easier as well. You can find... Yeah, thanks. You can find me on FUT Coaching on Twitter. You can always check my website, futcoaching.com, for all things info and past episodes for all the shows. And you can follow my streams on Mixer at mixer.com/futcoaching, live every Monday and every Friday at least. And I guess that's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
And a goodbye from me.